cancellation fee. So you save $100 right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. Again, the deadline is November 15th, so call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Good morning at 9 o'clock. I'm Graham Carroll. This news brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Our top local story with a looming deadline. We will learn today whether the Fulton County election interference case against President Trump will continue.
Judge Scott McAfee ordered the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia to name a replacement for Fulton County DA Fani Willis after she was removed from the helm of the sweeping case over conflicts of interest surrounding the selection of Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. Earlier this week, the council's executive director Pete Scandalakis told WSB they were diligently working to appoint a replacement. The judge's deadline is noon today. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
Now, one option for the council is to opt not to appoint another prosecutor, which could bring the case to a close. Should the case move ahead, though, legal analysts say it's not likely the case against President Trump specifically will be prosecuted until after his term ends. Emory University acquiring the property of the former site of a now vacant hospital on Clifton Road.
For decades, Eggleston Hospital served the area, eventually becoming the home of Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Children's moved to the new Arthur M. Blank Hospital on North Druid Hills Road last year, leaving that original facility on Clifton Road empty. The university says it plans to demolish the two buildings on the 7.5-acre site, but it will retain the 840-space underground parking garage. That demolition could take up to a year and a half. In the short term, the site will just be an open space. Officials haven't said what the overall plan is for the future. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
CSX officials are on scene investigating after a train hits a truck at a busy DeKalb County intersection. DeKalb Fire Captain Jason Daniels says the truck was a car hauler carrying multiple vehicles that got stuck on the track.
The driver luckily was able to remove himself from the vehicle moments before the truck was struck by the train.
And there are no reports of injuries, but there is considerable debris to be cleared. The intersection of Covington Highway and Turner Hill Road will be closed for some time, so drivers in the area should look for alternates. There is some continuing backlash over a provision in the measure that reopened the government this week. It severely limits the sale of certain THC products. David Thomas is COO of Delta Beverages and is generally in favor of some regulation, but says this goes too far and threatens many companies.
There's $28 billion in money that flows through the industry and over 300,000 people that are directly related to employment.
This new measure caps hemp products at 0.4 milligrams of THC per serving, which is far below nearly all products on the market today. The end to the government shutdown came with a promise from Senate Republicans to allow a vote on an extension for expiring health care benefits, which was the top priority for Democrats. Now, Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene says she's hopeful for a bipartisan solution.
I want my party to produce a solution and a plan that fixes this mess once and for all. And I really hope to see Republicans and Democrats work together to come up with a very good solution with health care for the American people.
The measure passed this week only covers funding of the government through the end of January, so the clock is ticking on the benefits themselves, and also there is the risk of another shutdown early next year. Lake Lanier is starting to feel the effects of the recent drought in North Georgia. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says the lake's current level is just above the median, and it's watching it closely with little rain expected in the next few weeks. Boaters on Lake Lanier are also urged to watch out for underwater hazards that pop up when the levels are so low. Most of Metro Atlanta is listed as experiencing moderate to severe drought conditions. It is 9:03, and the Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, it's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Triple Team Traffic with Smiling Mark McKay.
All right, Graham, we're still seeing hefty delays out of Fairburn through Union City because on the jam cam, I still see a left lane crash at the beginning of the ramp from I-85 north onto 285. That's exit 68. Delays back toward Highway 138 means using Highway 29 if you want to avoid them altogether. I-20 on the east side, okay through the work zone this morning. What's not go okay is that crash cleanup, the tractor trailer versus train crash in Lithonia that has had Turner Hill Road shut down north of I-20 at Covington Highway. Still sounding the travel advisory, I-20 on the west side, Ashley Frasca.
We've got two left lanes are blocked with a crash. I-20 eastbound past Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, heavy on the brakes leaving Holmes Drive, and outside the perimeter, slowest part of that ride before and after, Six Flags. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies through the course this afternoon, warming up to a high of 73. Clear and cool this evening, lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, even warmer, high 76. A few clouds moving through on Sunday, highs in the low 70s.
Right now, 52 degrees in Fairburn, 49 degrees in Loganville, and it's 50 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:04. More news at 9:30, breaking news when it happens. I'm Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Spoiler alert at 9:05 as we kick off this Friday edition of the Mark Arum Show. Ashley Frasca and Mia Frasca are going to win stars of the show. OMG. Mia is not Ashley's sister or anything. It's her big Great Dane. The sweet Deborah, the sweetest 900-pound dog I've ever seen in my entire life.
Adorable.
Oh, my God. For Ashley, how to make Fridays better. Bring in your dogs. I just posted a picture of Mia on my Instagram story if you want to check it out. Mark Arum. What a sweet, well-behaved girl. Unbelievable. Anyway, welcome, friends. This is Friday. It's a donut Friday. It's a payday Friday. You don't care. You want to get to the important stuff of the day. And by the way, Deborah, you outdid yourself. I'm holding up our story list today. Deborah has found 20 amazingly interesting stories that I want to get to today.
We'll see.
20. I mean, I'm not going to have time to get all
Right.
20, but you've got some amazing stuff today. We've got to update the government shutdown, the end of the government shutdown, coming up in 30 minutes. Caleb Silver from Investopedia is going to join us live on the economic impact of the government shutdown. We kind of take these things personally. Like, how is the government impact affecting me or my friends and family, whatever? But broad view, the economic impact of the government shutdown, 43 days, is massive, and Caleb's going to tell us how massive. Speaking of the government shutdown, airfare getting back to normal, not there yesterday. I'm not even supposed to be here right now. I'm supposed to be waking up in New York City eating a bagel in the streets of New York, but because of the government shutdown, we canceled our trip. When is airfare going to get back to normal? When is air travel going to get back to normal? Travel expert Peter Greenberg is going to join us live at 11:05. And SNAP benefits reintroduced here in the state of Georgia. One of the many things political analyst Bill Crane is going to discuss with us coming up at 10:35. Want to start, though, an update on, it's not going away, those Epstein emails. Joining us from ABC News, White House correspondent Karen Travers. Karen, you and the folks at ABC now have having to pore over 20,000 documents that were released from the Epstein estate after the subpoena from the House. What are the big takeaways you and ABC have found out of these emails?
Yeah, and the number of times the president is certainly mentioned repeatedly in these documents that were released this week by the House Oversight Committee. Thousands of documents released from the Epstein estate. And, there's still more documents. There's still more files. And this is part of the push by House members, some Republicans and Democrats, to get the Justice Department to release the full files that the Justice Department has. But these documents raise questions about whether the president was truly aware, if at all, anything about Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. Yesterday, my colleague Mary Bruce tried to get him to answer a question on the way out of an event at the White House, asking him, why won't you order the FBI to release the Epstein files, which many of his supporters have been clamoring for years. He didn't answer that. I should note that the White House has been very insistent that the emails prove nothing. That's what Caroline Levitt said earlier this week, that they prove nothing other than the fact that he did nothing wrong. And, when you kind of look at it, though, there's just a lot of messages that I think raise more questions. After the president launched his campaign in 2015, there's a message where Epstein is telling a reporter that he has dirt on the president and that he's willing to share it. In a message in 2018, and the context is a bit unclear, Epstein is writing to an unidentified person and says about the president, I'm the one able to take him down. So that's sparking questions at this point and about whether it's legitimate or if it's just kind of bloviating from somebody who had known him for a long time, and they were friends for more than a decade before the president has said they had a significant falling out.
Wow, that's really interesting. So the discharge petition finally got signature 218, and Speaker Mike Johnson. What are his plans now with the actual Epstein files, not these Epstein emails?
So he said that the House will vote next week on a bill that would compel the Department of Justice to release the complete files, despite his very long, firm opposition to that discharge position. He said to reporters, "It's a totally pointless exercise. It's completely moot now. We might as well just do it. They've got the 218 signatures. Fine, we'll just do it." So that was Wednesday night he had said that. So now it's a question of when that vote will occur, how it would be considered on the floor. There's two different ways it could come up. Johnson had not said what the schedule was going to be or like the mechanism by which they do it, but there will be support for it. The expectation is that it would pass with Republican and Democratic support. So that could happen next week. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, we'll see how many votes, actually vote to approve the release of the files. White House correspondent Karen Travers joining us on the Mark Arum Show. We heard the full-throated, defense of what was not in those emails from Caroline Leavitt. What's the overall general mood, though, of the White House since these emails came out?
They don't want to talk about this. No surprise. They didn't want to in the summer. They didn't want to in the early fall. They don't want to talk about it again. And they didn't have to for many weeks when the House wasn't in session and that discharge petition was not front and center because lawmakers were not here. But now it is back in the headlines again. And, Caroline Leavitt's message the other day was repeated by the president that this is just a distraction from, the shutdown ending and other priorities. But the president did not answer questions about this yesterday. And again, I think he will try to defer that today if we have a chance to get them before he leaves the White House.
Yeah, we'll be watching. Karen Travers, ABC. Karen, as always, appreciate your time. Have a great weekend.
You too. Thank you.
I'm fully convinced that this story might still be on the back burner. I mean, it'd still be talking about because, we'd waited so long for that 218th signature on the disposition to get the Epstein files released. So again, there's two separate things here. There are the long talked about Epstein files that the DOJ has and the FBI has, and why didn't Biden flip them when he had them? And, and then, we were waiting to get that vote, and the government shut down so that Arizona Congresswoman-elect couldn't get signed in to be the 218th. So we had and Karen mentioned it, we had, 43-day reprieve from talking about the Epstein files, and they would have gotten back up because, Speaker Johnson just swore her in. But I still don't think that we would ever get the Epstein files had we not seen those Epstein emails separate. Again, I still can't find out from any source if the Epstein files contain the Epstein emails that were just obtained by the House committee. No one knows what's in the Epstein files. Does the FBI have all those emails, the 20,000 pages of emails that were just released? I don't know. No one knows the answer to that. So I really believe if those Epstein emails from the Epstein estate weren't released as the government was reopening, we might never see the Epstein files. But that just added, gasoline onto the fire. Like, whoa, 20,000. Look at all these people that are named in there. Larry Summers and the chief legal counsel of this and former Prince Andrew that and Steve Bannon's in these. I mean, it's not just President Trump. And again, in these emails, they're cryptic and, some of them are creepy. But again, these emails, as far as we've learned through these 20,000 pages, there's nothing linking anyone to any criminal activity. Which I would think Jeffrey Epstein probably wouldn't have said, hey, me and these other two guys did this, that, you're not going to put that in an email. But the fact that there's all this new information now makes it seem like it's an inevitability that we are going to see the full Epstein files released, not the Epstein emails, the Epstein files. In fact, this is Republican Senator Kennedy from Louisiana.
I just don't think this issue is going to go away until that issue is addressed and answered to the American people's satisfaction. And I may end up with a sombrero on my head for saying that, but that's the way I see it. I think he'll put it on the floor. I think this issue is got to be resolved one way or the other.
So it looks like they're going to be there might actually be 66% of House members that will vote to release the files. That's important because it will be a veto-proof majority in the House. And if those numbers, when Speaker Johnson again says he's going to put it on the floor next week, if they get those bipartisan numbers, that is going to really put extra pressure on Senate Majority Leader Thune and Senate Republicans, because that is a public vote. Do you want to release the Epstein files, yay or nay? That's it. And, you know, some of those senators are going to be running for election, if not in 2026, in 4 years after that. And that's a handwritten campaign ad to their opposition. Senator Longoria voted to hide the Epstein files. What is he hiding? So I think that the momentum now has been built because of the 20,000 Epstein emails that eventually might lead us to the Epstein files being released. Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene spoke with CBS Mornings on the Epstein emails and the Epstein files.
You know, I've talked to many of the women, and the women themselves have said that Donald Trump did nothing wrong. And even their attorney said that Donald Trump was the only one that helped them. So I'll just being very honest with you, it's something that I don't understand. I think it's a huge miscalculation.
So Marjorie Taylor Greene saying to the president, hey, don't impede the release. They have already said you did nothing wrong. There's nothing to hide. Do it.
It's for the victims. These women have been waiting, some of them for decades. I talked to several victims that were raped by Jeffrey Epstein back in the 90s. And so this is information that has needed to come out for a very long time.
Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene on CBS Mornings this morning. All right, so we have the Epstein files that were subpoenaed by the House committee, not the DOJ. Steph Kite from Axios covering the story. What does this back and forth between the Epstein estate and the DOJ mean to you?
I mean, I do think we're going to be seeing a lot more documents. That's our understanding, hearing from lawmakers, that this is really just the beginning as more documents get released to Congress. And this is even before we see these votes on the discharge petition requiring the Justice Department to provide more documents. I do think it's notable that there is back and forth over what has actually been shared and how much we knew about Trump's own knowledge of what Epstein was doing. And while there is no smoking gun, it's not clear, that Trump had any direct participation in some of the illicit activity. It does show that he was potentially aware of what Epstein was doing beyond what we've known up until this point. And it's going to continue to put pressure on Republicans to vote for this measure to release more documents. This is something that many in the MAGA base, this is something that Trump himself, when he was campaigning, made a focus of his campaign, and something many Republicans care about, and it's putting them in a very uncomfortable position, and could put pressure on the Senate, even Republican senators, to vote for something like this and to try to pass this regardless of whether Trump would sign such a measure.
Yeah, months ago I was dubious that the Epstein files would ever be released, but I think it's snowballing now, and I think it's an inevitability. And again, just get out in front of it, let the American people see it, and then as quickly as you do that, the quicker we can move on. If there truly is nothing there in the Epstein files, release them. We'll look at them, and we'll move on to the next thing. Coming up after a quick break, great economic news. Another company doing some mass hirings here in Metro Atlanta. We'll tell you which company and where you can get a job after we check the ride around town. Got some trouble on the west side. Let's say hello and good morning to Mike Shields.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Yes, the long-standing crash. Been there over an hour. I-20 eastbound just past MLK Junior Drive, exit 53. Several vehicles involved with this crash, and in the left lane, at times 2 left lanes have been blocked, and delays back before Holmes Drive, exit 52. You can use Hollowell Parkway if you're coming off of 285, or use Joseph E. Boone Boulevard. Those are alternates as well. And watching trouble in Midtown now. We're scanning the GM cam for this. 7585 southbound, right at North Avenue. Delays already back before 17th Street. This report is brought to you by Mattress Firm's Score 2 deals and Better Sleep at Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale. Their sleep experts will help you find the perfect bed for your unique needs. Mattress Firm, they keep sleep easy. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
There are so many people in need of help right now, and they need our help.
Join the Triple Team Traffic Crew on Friday, November 21st from 9 a.m. to noon
at the Publix located at 11800 Haynesbridge Road in Alpharetta.
For the annual Triple Team Traffic Food Drive benefiting Atlanta Community Food Bank.
The first 25 people to donate a frozen turkey in person will receive 2 tickets to Lucia by Cirque du Soleil under the Big Top at Atlantic Station while supplies last.
For more information or to donate online, visit WSBradio.com. If you're ready for real European car lovers to work on your Porsche, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Audi, discover Wolfpan European Auto Repair in Roswell. And for a limited time, get a free second opinion on repairs when you mention you heard about Wolfpan on the radio. Search Wolfpan Auto Repair to get started.
At Mayo Clinic in Florida, we are solving the unsolvable. Our transplant experts are using new technologies like machine perfusion to increase the number of usable organs, reduce waiting times, and allow more patients to receive life-saving liver, heart, kidney, and lung transplants. We're making more possible at Mayo Clinic because every day we're doing what's never been done. Learn more at mayoclinic.org/possible. Mayo Clinic, you know where to go.
What if every home had a touch of magic, where every device was connected by an invisible force? It's not wizardry. It's the most intelligent Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Hey, it's Mark Aram here. Wi-Fi so brilliant it knows when to boost speeds to the devices that need it most, making the Emerald City Sparklify for your wicked watch party. Or instantaneously pause any device without the tap of a wand, or grant your devices the power to protect against threats at home and online, keeping you safe from mischief. With Xfinity Mobile, you can stream from the end of your driveway to the edge of Oz with intelligent Wi-Fi and 5G together. And right now, you can cast a spell to stop time and keep your internet price steady for 5 years, guaranteed. Plus, you get Wi-Fi equipment included, no contracts or commitments. Sure, it all feels like magic, but it's really intelligent Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Xfinity, imagine that. And see Wicked for Good only in theaters November 21st. Restrictions apply, select planes only. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet.
Got a leaky pipe? Trouble with your heat or AC? Ace Hardware Home Services is around the corner with trusted pros to fix it. From plumbing to heating and cooling, we'll keep your home running smoothly all year long. Get help today at acehardwarehomeservices.com.
We are here with CFP Matthew Decker of the Vincent Financial Group and host of Retire ATL. And Matt, you have created a 20-question guide that asks the pointed and sometimes uncomfortable questions about where you stand in retirement. And you have to ask yourself, who is your guide?
That's right. Who is your guide? We sometimes think of retirement as like a mountain that you need to climb. And if you're going to ascend the mountain, it's important that you have a guide that has been there before, who has helped other people accomplish the same task. And we've seen that this is so important. There's so much value in the financial planning world. But if you don't know what's accessible, if you don't know what questions to ask, if you don't know what kind of value you should be receiving for the fees that you're paying, oftentimes you don't get it. So we created this guide to ask those questions and really point you in the direction of the type of service, the type of value that you should be receiving for the fees that you're paying if you're engaging a professional money manager or financial planner.
All right, so Matt, how can we get our hands on this 20-question guide?
We want to make it as simple as possible. So you can call us at 770-280-1488. All you have to do is tell the representative that you're looking for our 20-question guide. You can also go to our homepage, retireatlradio.com. You can send us a note there. Just let us know you're looking for the guide. We don't need your email address. You don't have to create an account. You know, it's not protected by some kind of paywall. This is something we want to provide to you for free so that you can know, am I getting value for the fees that I'm paying? It's complimentary, created by us here at the Vincent Financial Group. Again, 770-280-1488. Ask for the guide, or you can go to retireatlradio.com.
770-280-1488. or online at retireatlradio.com. And join us for Retire ATL every Sunday right here on WSB.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Rufus. What the? Dave Baker here. Findlay Roofing, the Roof guys, and Rufus are proud to support Clark's Christmas Kids again this year. Findlay will donate $100 from every roof replacement between now and December 14th. They're committed to donate at least $15,000 to Clark's Christmas Kids. Santa is so proud, and Rufus is proud too. Schedule your free roof analysis at findlayroofing.com.
Yo, Jay, hit it. Let's go. This speech is my recital. I think it's very vital to rock around. That's right. On top. It's tricky. Here we go.
Happy 61st birthday, Rev Run of Run DMC. Turned 61 today. Vinny Drip, current musical producer in 2025. Do the kids know about Run DMC? Rev Run?
kids.
Well, like your generation. To me,
I
you're
mean,
a kid.
I do.
All right. But like Colby.
I don't
or-
hear too many people talk about
Yeah.
running them, though.
All right.
It's unfortunate.
Get on that.
Underrated.
Educate your friends.
You're right.
Yeah. Happy 61st first birthday to Rev Run. At the top of the show, I already awarded star of the show to Ashley Frasca and her Great Dane Mia. The picture's up on my Instagram story. What a sweet, huge dog. If you want to see Mia and all her cuteness, it's in my story on Instagram at Mark Air. Dog-related story and a great economic story here in Metro Atlanta. You know, we talk about vaccines for humans, but if you're a pet owner, you know, I get shouty emails from the vet like, "Hey, Soba's due for this inoculation and that." Pet vaccines are a big deal, and now we've got a company in Metro Atlanta going to expand their pet vaccine production.
Yeah, a company that makes vaccines for pets and other animals is expanding its factory, and it's going to be in the metro area. Now, they're based out of New Jersey. They're called Zoetis, but they're going to invest about $600 million in a facility over in Douglasville.
Nice.
And that's also going to create about 100 new jobs. Construction's already kicked off, and they're going to be completely finished with it in 2029, but a little higher before then.
How much? 600 million?
$600 million investment.
And because vaccines are expensive, everything related to animals is expensive. Did you have to get bunny vaccinations or those?
Yeah, you have to get, yeah. Bunnies are even harder than cats because you have to go to an exotic animal. I can't just take my rabbit to the same vet that I would take our dog to. It has to be an exotic. Yeah, it has to be an exotic.
Not an
animal
exotic
vet.
dancer, Longoria, an exotic veterinarian.
No, Bunny is the name of the exotic dancer.
Well done. Well done. All right, Deborah's now got star of the show. You got me just. Oh, I saw this. You're a former rabbit. Well, you're a current rabbit lover. You've owned rabbits. I saw something on social media. That's why I'm trying to, make sure it's valid. They say you shouldn't give carrots to rabbits because there's too much sugar in them. They don't eat carrots in the wild. It's just from Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Kind of. I mean, you can put fresh vegetables in there, but they're like my rabbit would have eaten a piece of carrot, but it's not like they're craving it the way maybe dogs would have like a bacon treat sometimes. You think of that. But they'll eat any fresh vegetables really.
But should you not give them, just feed them carrots?
Yeah, don't just throw a carrot in there. They're better off with hay or alfalfa or even cilantro.
Cilantro. There you go. All right. The official, you wear so many hats for the show. Musical correspondent, bunny correspondent, exotic dancer named Bunny correspondent. Well done, Deborah. All right. When we come back after news, weather, and traffic, government shutdown over. Hooray. That's amazing. Everyone's getting their back pay. Federal workers back there getting paid. But the economic impact on non-federal workers, folks like you and me, that had, survived relatively unscathed through the government shutdown. But the national economic impact is something we haven't really talked about. We're going to go in depth with Caleb Silver from Investopedia when we come back after news, weather, and traffic. At 10 o'clock, we'll go back live to D.C. Nancy Cortez from CBS is going to join us on the reopening of the government and what it means to all of the museums that are now open and the national parks, etc. Bill Crane joining us live at 10:35. Talking about Georgia SNAP benefits coming back after the shutdown. And 11:05, really excited to talk to travel expert Peter Greenberg. Now that the government's open, when will travel return to normal? Peter Greenberg live at 11:05. Social media is up and active at Mark Airman at WSB Radio.
It's the Love Your Home Minute from TE Certified. Hi, it's Chris Chandler with Josh, the local owner of TE Certified Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. You know him. That's him you see jumping out of the back of their trucks. Josh, tell me something you've done recently to help you love your home.
Our whole house water filtration system. Before we got our whole house filter, our water kind of tasted like chlorine, kind of had an odd smell to it. Ever since we put the whole house filter in, now our water smells perfect, it tastes great, and it cleans every single faucet in our house. So at our toilet, at our sink, at our shower, we have clean water.
That's the kind of thing that's good for the whole family.
Absolutely. So this is our kids, myself, washing water, our cleaning water, our cooking water, and of course, even the dog gets clean water now. It took less than a day for the team to install the 2 new filters for the house, and now every single faucet my family uses has filtered water.
Josh, thank you. I believe a water filtration system from TE will help a lot of our listeners love their home more.
TE Certified, we love your home.
It's the Medicare Advantage annual enrollment period, and Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
The legendary Eastman Gun Shows are this weekend at the Clarence Brown Arena in Cartersville. Bring your friends and family, rain or shine, Saturday 9 to 5, Sunday 10 to 4. We have everything for the lovers of the right to bear arms. Eastman Gun Shows, proud supporters of the Second Amendment.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather, traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
Good morning. At 9:30, I'm Graham Carroll. Our top local story is breaking news. They have announced a decision on who will take over the case of the Fani Willis trial, who had been removed from the case. This is the federal prosecuting case involving election interference with Donald Trump, and Pete Skandalakis has decided to appoint himself to take over that role. We will have much more news on this as we get through the morning. This has just been announced this morning. It is breaking news that Pete Skandalakis will take over the case. It remains to be seen just how far he will go with the case and whether or not he will continue to seek the charges against President Trump and others. We'll have more on this throughout the morning. Right now, our next major story is local businesses are reacting after a provision placing deep restrictions on Georgia's hemp industry is tucked away in the new federal short-term funding bill. The multi-million-dollar industry could find itself in a much different landscape if the new regulations take effect 1 year from now.
The measure essentially recriminalizes the intoxicating hemp-related products that were made legal by the Farm Bill in 2018. That includes the THC-infused drinks made at Omari Anderson's Atlanta-based company.
The way it's written, we won't be able to sell virtually any product.
Attorney Tom Church says this move muddies the waters for businesses when state law conflicts with federal.
Businesses have to make a decision. State law says I can do it. Federal law says I can't.
According to a UGA study, the industry has a more than $150 million economic impact. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
A new survey warns that next year's job market for college graduates will be rough.
More than half of the 183 companies polled by the National Association of Colleges and Employers rated the job market for the class of 2026 as poor or fair. That's the worst outlook since the pandemic began. Companies say economic uncertainty has them hiring more conservatively. Plus, they have AI doing entry-level jobs.
And Michael Wallace says college grads also face competition from recently laid off workers who are back in the pool of those seeking employment. Microsoft launches a massive new data center in Atlanta, expanding a network of infrastructure built for AI. The company's sites are connected across multiple states through a dedicated high-speed fiber network, so it operates like an AI super factory. The facility features high-density design with two-story architecture and liquid cooling systems for almost zero water usage. Microsoft says this infrastructure is necessary to train AI models with hundreds of trillions of parameters. A grand opening celebration planned tonight for the city of Tucker's new Town Green. It is an $8.6 million 2-acre park located near Main Street. City spokeswoman Sonia Shovsky says the green space will have lots of uses.
Whether that is, dance recitals or the high school band, concert band coming to play, this is truly an opportunity and a space for all of Tucker to use as their own.
The ribbon cutting is at 5:30. There will be live music, food, and more. The city recently expanded its entertainment district to include the Town Green. It is 9:33 and it's time for a check of traffic and weather. Mike Shields is live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
And Graham watching a stalled out van in a center lane. Tough spot for this in Midtown. 7585 southbound right at North Avenue in front of Georgia Tech. Delays back before the Brookwood split, so impacting you on 75 south and 85 south. Long-standing crash trying to clear out of the left lane in West Atlanta. I-20 eastbound MLK Junior Drive, exit 53. And a stalled big rig in the second left lane near the airport. 285 westbound the Interloop getting past Riverdale Road, exit 60. Slow 2 miles back starting at I-75. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Blue skies and sunshine today, warming up to a high of 73. Temperatures falling to the mid-40s for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, mostly sunny, high 76. A few clouds moving through on Sunday, breezy at times, high 73.
Right now, 52 degrees in Austell. We have 50 degrees in McDonough and 54 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
In Atlanta, there is always something happening.
Tanker truck crashed into the median.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
No traffic getting through in either direction.
Helping you on your commute.
Avoid the area at all costs. Take Highway 155 or Highway 4223.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Overnight, major escalation in the Russia-Ukraine war. We'll update that. But coming up next, what was the economic impact of the government shutdown? We'll let you know in 2 minutes on The Mark Arum Show.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2798.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
2 homes, same street, same layout, but one had an orchard sign and sold for a whole lot more. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler, and here's why that matters. The first seller went the traditional route. Weeks of showings, price drops, frustration. In the end, they settled for less. The second seller chose Orchard and got ahead. Their agent knew what buyers wanted, made smart upgrades, and marketed the home like a pro. It sold fast and for top dollar. And here's the kicker. With Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, that seller had already moved into their new place before the old one even hit the market. No last-minute cleanings, no strangers walking through during dinner, no stress. You're not stuck. You don't have to wait. You can move now and still sell for more. Start your free home valuation today at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engines running. Commit. Liftoff.
This is not the start of the Eric Erickson Show, but 56 years ago today, as heard on WSB Radio, Apollo 12, the second manned flight to land on the moon, blasted off. That was Jack King in launch control, counting it down 56 years ago today, November 14th, 1969, the second manned flight to land on the moon. Continue our coverage of the reopening of the government. Joining us live from Investopedia, our buddy Caleb Siller. Caleb, good morning. Thanks so much for your time.
Good to be with you.
We've been laser focused on the personal impact of the government shutdown, federal employees, et cetera, but haven't really thought about the broad view and how the 43-day shutdown has impacted the U.S. economy. I know it's going to be a while before we get the full report, but initially, what do we think the economic impact was?
Yeah, at a very high level, you can expect GDP to have been maybe taken a 1% to 1.5% hit, given the length of the shutdown and the lack of federal spending during that time and the lack of spending by government employees who weren't getting their paychecks. Looking at like a $15 billion hit potentially. Some of that is made back in the following quarter, but the real blow is to consumer confidence and potentially a disruption in the spend going into the critical holiday season. That's not only for gifts, but that's for things like air travel during Thanksgiving or Christmas. Some people may have put that off or decided they don't want to deal with it given what's happened at the airports in the last several weeks, but also the fact that this may not be over depending on what happens in January.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm raising my hand. I was supposed to be in New York right now, but canceled the trip out of concerns that our flights would be canceled to and from Atlanta and to New York. So I understand that. But I'm a glass half full kind of guy, Caleb. The fact that the government shutdown ended before Thanksgiving, before Christmas, does that maybe provide a little boost to consumer confidence? Like, all right, we're in the clear at least until the end of January.
Yeah, it does, but consumer confidence was at a 3-year low, almost at an all-time low. Now, we feel one way and we act a different way, so we may feel terrible, but we continue to spend. Some of that is because prices are just higher, so it looks like we're spending more when, in fact, we're just holding on and dealing with higher prices. Some of that is the fact that consumers don't feel like the economy is that strong right now in general, and some of that's just the labor market, which has really been weakening over the past 12 to 15 months, and some of that is because there are just concerns that the dysfunction in the government is going to continue. There might be a very higher health insurance premiums likely for millions and millions of Americans in 2026. So I think that's got folks on their back heels when it comes to the way they feel about the economy.
All right, great stuff as always. Caleb Silver, Investopedia. Caleb, have a great weekend, my friend.
You too, thanks.
There you go. All right, so significant. I guess the bottom line is there has been a significant impact to the U.S. economy. The problem is it takes months to get, the economic indicators. So we don't know right away exactly how much economic impact that the shutdowns had on the U.S. The consumer confidence, though, I don't know, Deborah. I feel like I felt a sigh of relief that, all right, the government reopened before Thanksgiving. To me, that's good. Like,
of course, it's
that's
good.
One
yes.
less thing we have to worry about before the holidays is, all right, the government's open now. So we don't have to worry about our packages. We don't have to worry. We didn't even think about
packages, not necessarily. I mean, I know the USPS, but the post office was still running.
No, but, and this is something we'll ask Peter Greenberg, because I meant to bring this up on the show during the government shutdown, with the flight restrictions that we saw at the 40 major airports, including Atlanta Hartsfield here. We only talked about commercial travelers, but was there a restriction? You think about all of the UPS flights and American Express flights and the United States Postal flights.
I had some international packages come in, and they didn't take any longer than normal. So I'm not sure. But they also came from another country who didn't have a government shutdown,
Sure.
so I'm not sure.
But with the limiting of flights, did Sean Duffy, Transportation Secretary, real world star, did he limit the flights for, like, UPS, right? We had that tragic UPS crash in Louisville. But I know if you've ever been out of the airport, there's a ton of cargo flights out there. And I wonder if all right, put that down on the list, Shani B. I'm going to ask Peter Greenberg, our travel expert, coming up at 11:05, Peter Greenberg. Coming up at the top of the hour, go back to D.C. Live, CBS News, Nancy Cortez, on the reopening of the government, what happens next, and what happens next with the Epstein emails and the Epstein files. I want to shift gears, though. Joining us on the show, our good friend Rory O'Neill. Rory, horrible news for all the single dudes listening to the show today, and specifically our very own associate producer and phone screener, Vinny Drip. New poll indicates that a huge number of young American women are ready to move out of the United States.
A fascinating Gallup poll. And for a while now, they've been tracking this idea that more and more Americans are looking at moving to another country permanently. These days, about 20% of Americans say they would like to live in a different country. But what's interesting is that 40% of the people in that survey, 40% of women aged 15 to 44, said they would also like to move abroad if they had the opportunity. That's nearly twice the rate of men in that same demographic. And the U.S. is the only country in the world where Gallup, where they do this survey around the world, but the U.S. is the only place where they found this big gender split in more women wanting to leave their home country.
I know it's the Gallup poll, but did they ask follow-ups? Do we know why younger women want to leave the United States at greater numbers than ever before?
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation, not a whole lot of answers. They don't think it's political, at least not too political, because we started to see this gender split back in 2016, the last year of the Obama administration. It continued to go up during the first Trump administration, but it went up under the Biden administration, too, and is still going up today. So I think that's one of the reasons that we don't think it's too political, although Gallup also released a different poll talking about having faith in the American institutions, faith in the courts, the military, the government, and we've seen a pretty sharp decline in that. This may be related to things like new rules on abortion and states passing different laws on abortion. That may be part of it. That's just speculation. My own personal opinion, again, this is me talking, not the Gallup folks. Yes. I think social media is a factor, especially for these young, this goes down to 15-year-olds. If they're looking at their phones and seeing, oh, look, they're in the bikini playing in a Fiji waterfall, or they're strolling by a cafe in Paris. Yeah, all that stuff looks great on the phone, but I don't know if that is realistic. Like, oh, I want to move to another country.
So the Rory theory is it's the grass is always greener on the other side. They see all these amazing places around the globe via social media. And they go, oh, I would love to live in Bora Bora.
Exactly. I think, and let's be clear, it's the filtered grass
Yes.
is always greener on the other side, right? After you apply that filter to it, because we all know those pictures aren't quite what they seem. And I think that's, especially for the younger part of this cohort, is to say, I think that may be part of the allure.
Yeah, I mean, when we were growing up, if we wanted to know what it was like growing abroad, we would, pick up National Geographic. That was our social media. Be like, all right, what is it like around?
All right, that's not why I picked up National Geographic, but sure.
Understood.
No, but you get a postcard maybe, but not have these videos sent to you constantly on your phones.
That's brilliant. That's a brilliant theory, Roy. My initial knee-jerk reaction when I saw the poll results was economic reasons. But again, it goes back to social media, where you can, you see these things. You can live in Thailand for $6 a day, or it's so much cheaper in Italy. So I initially thought it might have been an economic reason that women were like, no, I would like to leave the United States.
I think this may also speak to the idea that American women are having fewer kids or marrying later, and maybe they see, I'm 22, let's go move abroad before we settle down with husband and kids.
Really, really interesting stuff. All right, great as always, Rory. Have a great weekend, my friend.
Thanks, Mark. Talk to you soon.
I think Rory's theory, Deborah, makes a lot of sense. I'm on Instagram, and the algorithm, which knows me better than my best friends, it keeps showing me, hey, these Japanese videos. Like, go, you want to go back to Japan. That's a powerful thing that we didn't have growing up. When I was a teen, the only, visions of travel that I saw were through television and in movies, right? So when I would turn on the TV on a Friday night, I'm like, oh, Hawaii. Oh, Hawaii looks great. I'll go be a private investigator or a helicopter pilot, or I'll own that tiki bar. Is that what Rick, the little guy Rick, he owned a tiki bar, right?
He had a tiki bar, yeah.
Like that was the only travel, or MASH, but you didn't
Fantasy Island,
Fantasy
right?
Island, yeah. But now social media, literally, you open the app and you can see Beijing, Singapore, Cape Town, South. We're getting all of these looks into what it's like the rest of the world that we didn't have. I could go live in Hawaii and live on the ranch with...
It's not leaving the country, though. You're still in the country.
That's true, but it's traveling. Higgins. Was it Higgins?
Higgins,
yes.
Higgins.
Whatever happened? Was Higgins like the millionaire and he was just playing? Whatever happened on that?
There's theories that he was, and then, depending on the episodes, it proved that he wasn't.
They didn't really resolve
that? They never
that?
really said who it was.
All right. Vinny, get Tom Selleck on the phone. I want to know how...
Talk about that in reverse mortgages.
Oh, the greatest acting performance of Tom Selleck's storied career. I haven't seen him anymore. Is he done?
No, I saw one not too long ago.
Oh, he's in there?
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of travel, this story grabbed my attention, Deborah. A man was caught smuggling exotic animals, right? We've seen those stories. But this dude was trying to smuggle 200 exotic animals. What?
Close to that. So this man was leaving Tel Aviv coming to Tel Aviv from Thailand, and he was caught with about 186 different animals in his suitcase. And it was things like snakes, turtles, crabs, frogs, lizards, a bunch of other amphibians. And the reason he got caught is because apparently the airport there's two lanes. There's one where you go through and you don't have to declare anything, right?
Yeah.
I can just walk through. And then the other one, you have to go and declare items. Well, he went to the lane where he didn't, tried to sneak through there. And when they looked at the suitcase, they realized there's something wrong with it. And there were all these animals in there. Now, luckily, the animals were okay. None of them died, but they still were in really bad conditions, right? They were stuffed in a suitcase.
Yeah, how big was his suitcase?
It doesn't say, but
186 animals.
Had they stayed in there, they could have, suffocated.
They could have killed each other.
Yeah, that's true too.
Natural predators.
But it says they were estimated to be tens of thousands of dollars as he was bringing these animals across the border.
Louise. That's charge him with whatever the crime is for trying to import exotic animals illegally, and then smack him with 186 counts of animal cruelty, because that's horrible. That's a dumb criminal. That's a cruel criminal. We need a new cut, Vinny. I need a cruel criminal cut. 9:48 on the Mark Arum Show. We're going to come back, update our top local stories. Right now, though, Got to update that drive around town. Live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Here's Mike Shields.
And Mark, watching a stalled-out tractor-trailer blocking the second left lane, having a big impact getting around the airport right now on 285 westbound. The inner loop right at Riverdale Road, exit 60, bumper to bumper, 2 miles back as you leave I-75. Also watching a stalled van in a center lane still in Midtown, 7585 southbound in front of Georgia Tech right at North Avenue. Brake lights begin back at 17th Street on the connector, and delays improving in West Atlanta after a long-standing crash cleared I-20 eastbound at MLK Junior Drive. This report is brought by Macy's Backstage. Macy's Backstage has a whole department inside your Macy's store where you'll find everything you need for the holidays and all for under $35. Don't wait, find a location at macy'sbackstage.com. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
When the news matters to you.
The massive project at 285 and Georgia 400 has been a big improvement.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
The latest incident comes when a SWAT team is called after a suspect.
Your 24/7 news
They
source.
have no ties to a gang.
You need the story. All you need to do is listen. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed right here on 95.5 WSB. Well, Chris, as you know, time just keeps on ticking. We're putting another year under our belt, so it seems like a really good time to take stock of our financial lives and put together that plan that's built to last.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on Portfolio X-ray, or click on Full Retirement Plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Mark Aram here with a personal question for you folks. Is your main drain clogged? Well, maybe it's not personal, but it can get personal if your main drain is clogged. Don't stress. Get it cleared out right now for just $89, guaranteed. That's right. My friends at Reliable Heating, Air, and Plumbing offering a $90 main drain cleaning promo. Unbelievable value. Get rid of the stress of your main drain. Is it clogged? It won't be after my pals at Reliable. Company you can trust. Reliable. Every cleaning comes with a free sewer camera inspection, no hidden fees or extra charges for after hours or weekends, and, drum roll please, same-day service available. Clear out your clogged main drain with my friends at Reliable. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website, reliableair.com. Click on the Book Now button or call or text 770-594-9969, 770-594-9969.
Coming up from the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, a Delta classical concert featuring French nun Perel, Hélène Grimaud, performing Brahms' stormy first piano concerto. Stutzman pairs Brahms with his mentor, the romantic Robert Schumann, with his third symphony nicknamed the Rhenish Symphony, for evoking sights and sounds along storied Rhine. November 20th and 21st at Symphony Hall. Details at aso.org.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join Medi-Share and save even more than usual. For many families, joining Medi-Share means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. But what's more, MediShare members like it. We know this from member surveys. They like it a lot. It's a proven thing now. MediShare's been around for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing, too. If you join before November 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they will waive your application fee. So you save $100 right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. Again, the deadline is November 15th, so call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. Call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
It became like sort of the cadence of the whole set. People walking around saying, Wakanda forever. Wakanda forever!
Chadwick Boseman sadly passed away in 2020, but he's being honored posthumously, Deborah, with a Hollywood Walk of Fame star.
Yeah, he's going to get a Walk of Fame star on November 20th, and his widow's going to be there to accept, along with the director of the Black Panther films, and then some of his co-stars were in the movies, too, just to honor him on that Walk of Fame.
And he played a great Jackie Robinson in 42.
All of his roles were
really
good.
The movie was not great. I was very disappointed with that movie. It's not a Sandlot bad. I just had such high expectations for 42. When I first saw the trailer, I cried. And I was like, this is going to be the greatest baseball movie of all time. And he was awesome. Just the movie wasn't anyway. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman, getting his Hollywood Walk of Fame star posthumously. Deborah. One more criminal story. This one's an Atlanta criminal. An Atlanta man steals $1.1 million in unclaimed property. What?
Yeah, remember we had that story once where you could look in to see if you had any unclaimed property.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like that. This is a man named Shaka Stamen. He's 44. He's from Atlanta. And he has been charged with $1.1 million in thefts and resulting in checks that made up that money. So basically, he would go onto these unclaimed property sites that they have them all over. So like if you do one in Connecticut, because he used to live in Connecticut, and they'll say, oh, we mark this. Well, he would make all these fake IDs and everything to get a whole bunch of money. So he's being charged with larceny, attempted larceny, 3 counts of money laundering, uttering false documentation, false claims, conspiracies, and his bail is set at $2 million.
$2 million. All right, Deborah, smart criminal or dumb criminal? What do you think I'm going to pick on this one?
I'm going to say dumb on that one.
I'm going to say the crime was smart. He got greedy. Like, if that works for a couple of times, and you let's say you clear $200,000, don't push your luck. You got $200,000 in a criminal enterprise. You got away with it. The problem is, in the mind of a criminal, you're successful. You're like, oh, I am never going to get caught. So the execution was dumb, but the making up fake IDs, especially in 2025, it's so easy to create forged documents and stuff. I think that was it was a smart criminal, but a dumb execution of that. Are you a fan of Saturday Night Live or not, Deborah?
I haven't watched it in years.
I haven't watched it in years either, but apparently there's going to be a new Saturday Night Live across the pond.
Sky TV will start airing a UK edition of Saturday Night Live next year. Hopes are high in the industry, along with expectations.
Satire's function is to punch up, to speak truth to power, and we all hope it will be given the opportunity to do that.
Comedy writer Jolyon Rubinstein, but TV critic Scott Bryan warns.
I think it all comes down to how can they take the ingredients that have made the US show so successful and tailor them specifically to a UK audience.
With British comedy itself ranging from dry and understated to over-the-top slapstick, at least the show's producers will have a pretty broad palette to choose from. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
Hot take. I think out of the gate, the UK Saturday Night Live is going to be funnier than the US one.
Depends on the actors.
They're so funny.
Modern comedy is funny. The old stuff is not.
English are so funny. All right, news, weather, and traffic when we come back live to D.C. on the end of the government shutdown. That's next on the Mark Aaron Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doorbell. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Does this sound like you, where every step or reach is a reminder of what hurts, a reminder of what you're not able to do and how far you've drifted from the life you used to have when you didn't feel that pain?
Good news for you, because relief is closer than you think, and it doesn't have to come from a scalpel. What if it could come from you? It's Mark Aaron from my pals at QC Kinetics, where they tap into your body's own regenerative power using natural healing factors that help restore and repair damaged tissue, reduce inflammation, and relieve pain at its source. No surgery, no pain pills, no long recovery. And this Veterans Day, QC Kinetics is giving back to their heroes. Veterans will get $500 off their treatment, and for every non-veteran who starts care, QC Kinetics will donate $500 to the Wounded Warrior Project. A great time to book your free consultation, so call QC Kinetics today. 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026. Locations in Decatur, Lawrenceville, Sandy Springs, Marietta, Stockbridge, and Douglasville.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB. Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating and Air. We do have breaking news this hour. A prosecutor has now been selected in the Fulton County election interference case against President Trump.
Pete Skandalakis, the executive director of the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia, will now take over the helm of the sweeping election interference case. In a statement released this morning, he says that several prosecutors were contacted to take over the case, but they all declined, so he's chosen to appoint himself. By doing so, the Fulton County election indictment will move forward. Skandalakis says he's keenly aware that the matter has been of significant public interest, adding that his only objective is to ensure that the case is handled properly and fairly. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. And we have just now gotten a comment from President Trump's lead Georgia Defense Counsel, Steve Sadow, and I'm going to read it to you here. It says, quote, "This politically charged prosecution has to come to an end. We remain confident that a fair and impartial review will lead to a dismissal of the case against President Trump." All right, your weather for today. Sunny skies, staying warm with an afternoon high of 73. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta Radio's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead, coming up in about 2 minutes. A truck driver has a story to tell after his big rig stalled out on a train track in DeKalb County.
Carrying cars at the intersection of Highway 124 and Covington Highway that was hit by a train.
DeKalb Fire Captain Jason Daniels telling us that the truck driver was able to get out in time, but his vehicle got hit by that oncoming CSX train, scattering debris all over the place. There was a small fire at a jetway at a Terminal C at the airport this morning. Atlanta Fire responding, and they tell us that it was a small fire underneath the jetway, and it was quickly put out. No injuries were reported. Emory University acquires a now vacant hospital in the heart of the university's campus.
For decades, Eggleston Hospital served the area, eventually becoming the home of Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Children's moved to the new Arthur M. Blank Hospital on North Druid Hills Road last year, leaving that original facility on Clifton Road empty. The university says it plans to demolish the two buildings on the 7.5-acre site, but it will retain the 840-space underground parking garage. That demolition could take up to a year and a half. In the short term, the site will just be an open space. Officials haven't said what the overall plan is for the future. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
The Trump administration's confrontation with Venezuela could be on the brink of taking a dangerous new turn. The U.S. Naval carrier battle group approaching the Caribbean, and sources tell CBS News that President Trump now has options for potentially military operations inside Venezuela. Charlie Daggett, phone.
As F-35 stealth fighter jets fly missions from a reopened naval base in Puerto Rico, and Marines practice beach landings. Sources tell CBS News the Pentagon is preparing for military action in Venezuela. On On Wednesday, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and Joint Chiefs Chairman Dan Kane presented President Trump with options for the coming days, including strikes inside the country.
And back here at home, federal employees are returning to work after the government shutdown ended earlier this week. The White House reportedly has urged federal agencies to send paychecks as fast as possible to employees who have been without pay. Some expected to get their paychecks as soon as this weekend. Meanwhile, airlines say that they are ready to shift back to full operations once they get clearance from the government. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 487 points at 46,970. So the Dow's down more than a full percent. NASDAQ's down more than 0.5%, and so is the S&P. Let's get a check of the roads, and for that, we turn now live to the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Out of Midtown, you got a stalled vehicles are really slowing you down on the downtown connector 7585 southbound before North Avenue exit 249, blocking out one center lane as you're making your way into downtown. You got delays starting before 17th Street. Elsewhere over in College Park, you got another stalled big rig. I-25 westbound, the interlude just past Riverdale Road, exit 60. That's knocking out one left lane as you're making your way around the domestic terminal. You got delays starting around I-75. Check it out, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upward. Sunny skies through the course this afternoon, warming up to a high of 73. Clear and cool this evening, lows tonight in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, even warmer, high 76. A few clouds moving through on Sunday, highs in the low 70s.
56 degrees right now in Johns Creek. It's 57 in Brazelton and College Park. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show on a good Friday morning to you. Mark Aram here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Aram Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon, 95.5 WSB. The core four with us today. Deborah, executive producer of the program. Longoria, the Stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Dripper screens your calls coming up in 30 minutes. Political analyst Bill Crane's going to join us live with the SNAP benefit news here in the state of Georgia. 1 hour from now, travel expert Peter Greenberg, now that the government is reopened, when will travel get back to normal? We'll discuss that with Peter. Speaking of the government shutdown, let's go live to the nation's capital. Joining us live from CBS News, Nancy Cortez. Nancy, good morning. Happy Friday, my friend.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Government's reopened. Everything back in D.C., the Smithsonian, everything back to normal yet?
Not quite. It's starting to get back to normal, but every time the federal government is shut down for a prolonged period of time, there's always this ramping up phase when things start to reopen. So, like with the Smithsonian Museums, for example, first one's opening today, and they'll sort of stagger the opening over the next few days. Back pay is still going to take a week or two for all of the federal employees who weren't getting paid to get all of their back pay. That's being staggered. And, the big thing that everybody is wondering about is when are flights going to get back to normal. We're still at a 6% cancellation rate imposed by the DOT. They didn't go up to 10% once the government reopened. They held it at 6%. But aviation officials say that it's probably going to take about a week for everything to get fully straightened out so we've got the air system back to what we expect it to be.
Nancy, when the Senate Republicans were able to get the Democrats to join them in that 60 to 40 vote to end the government shutdown, Democrats got, from my vantage point anyway, got a couple of concessions from Republican senators. All the folks that were fired during the shutdown will get their jobs back, and a handshake agreement on a discussion of some sort of health care reform, as the ACA subsidies are expiring. Any movement on any talk of health care reform between Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill?
Not really, and that's why there are so many Democrats who did not sign on to this agreement who are frustrated and feel like they didn't get anything out of this shutdown that they didn't have before it started. They feel that a handshake agreement is just not enough because it would take a vote not only in the Senate but also in the House to ensure that people whose premium subsidies are
the Epstein emails certainly did that over the last 48 hours. 20,000 pages of emails that were subpoenaed by the Epstein estate. Where are we, as far as Speaker Johnson is concerned and the White House is concerned, on moving forward to get the official Epstein files now released to the general public?
So there have been some major new developments on that front. The handful of Republicans and an overwhelming number of Democrats in the House who want to see the Epstein files released now have the 218th signature. That's what they need in order to force a vote on getting the Justice Department to release the Epstein files. And so the House Speaker, now that they have the 218 votes, he says potentially, look, this is the writing on the wall, this vote is going to happen, so we might as well do it sooner rather than later. So it sounds like that vote could happen early next week. The president kind of lashing out at this just this morning on Truth Social, saying some weak Republicans have fallen into their clutches, the clutches of Democrats, because they're soft and foolish. He says they're all coming after him, but that theoretically, if there's nothing to hide for President Trump, and the Epstein files shouldn't be a concern for him, whether the Epstein files get released or not. And interestingly, there are a number of House Republicans who didn't sign the petition, but who are telling reporters, if it comes up for a vote, they'll vote in favor of releasing the Epstein files because that's something that their constituents want.
Yeah, they need to think about their political careers. If it does have enough votes to pass the House, do we think that there'll be enough Republicans that will vote for it on the Senate floor?
There are interestingly some Republicans in the Senate who say that they just don't, they're not necessarily in favor of releasing the files, but at the same time, they feel like this is not going to go away until the files are out and people have a chance to see them, and they feel like it's casting a shadow over the Trump administration, so why not sort of rip the Band-Aid off and get it all out there? So, the political calculus isn't entirely clear in the Senate, but if there are an overwhelming number of House Republicans who vote for this, that's going to put a lot of pressure on the Senate to hold its own vote.
That being said, if it does get to the president's desk, is there a chance that he might say no and just veto this?
There is always a chance. That would be a striking new move if this has overwhelming support from Republicans, people from his own party in the House and Senate, and then the president doesn't sign it. But it would sort of be in uncharted territory at that point.
Indeed. Happy to say Nancy Cortez's name did not appear in any of the emails to or from Jeffrey Epstein. Nancy, great stuff as always. Have a great weekend, my friend.
Thanks so much. You too.
It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. At what point? I mean, there's still 3 years left in the Trump presidency. He's not a lame duck by any stretch of the imagination. It's not like he's 30 days away from, ending his political. He's 3 years left. There are going to be some Republican senators and congressmen and women that are like, I've got an election coming up in November of 2026. What's more important, me getting reelected or staying in the president's good graces? There's a lot of come to Jesus meetings going on there on Capitol Hill. It's going to be an interesting week next week on Capitol Hill. I think it's inevitable it comes out. I don't think if it all gets all the way to President Trump's desk that he can veto it. If it passes the House with a supermajority, passes the Senate, I think it gets to his desk. He has to do it and just let the chips fall where they may. There are a lot of, and we've said this a long time, but there's a lot of nervous folks around the world right now that weren't mentioned necessarily in the Epstein emails, but might be in those Epstein files. A lot of nervous cats right now going, oh my God, this is actually going to happen. But obviously we'll follow that next week. Can I talk about something totally unrelated just popped in my head?
Yes.
Thought about this yesterday. I can't remember the last time I experienced deja vu. I can't remember. We all know what deja vu is, right? Yeah. Vinny, you know what deja vu is, right? Yeah. I can't, it's probably been over a year where I've had deja vu. Now, I don't know if that's a part of growing old or my brain matter is over-caffeinated. And I was like, maybe I'm not the only one. Maybe no one's having deja vu anymore. Have you had deja vu recently? Any
stopped having children. Out of nowhere. For 18 years, no one had a baby. Part 2, deja vu.
It says deja vu is a sign of a healthy brain.
Oh, all right. Well, that means we're going downhill. Have you had deja vu, Ben? I was going to say, I can't recall myself either. The last time I had deja vu. The closest to deja vu I've had, and it wasn't real deja vu, it was knowing that when I went into Vinny's screening booth, and I said, hey, we're going to get bagels this morning. And he goes, like I've seen that, but that's not deja vu. I just knew it was coming. Hit me up if you've had deja vu or haven't. I just want to know. I could win a Nobel Prize if I'm the first person in the public to go, hey, no one's having deja vu anymore. What's going on? I'm sure they're giving them up for that. Is it solar flares? Is it the Earth spinning faster? The Earth is spinning faster. That's a story we're going to get to yesterday. Did you know that? I did not. The Earth is spinning. I feel like George Moore right now. The Earth is spinning faster. And that's impacting our clocks. That's crazy. There could be, again, this might be totally bogus. Everyone else listening is like, no, I had deja vu yesterday. Are you crazy? But maybe we just stopped having deja vu. I cannot run. Maybe pre-pandemic. Maybe it has to do with the vaccine. Maybe I'll win the Nobel Prize in medicine. If I like this, I'm not blaming Tylenol for the record. I don't take Tylenol. I take Advil. So don't sue me. Acetaminophen makers. I'm not blaming Tylenol. I just noticed that I have not experienced deja vu. The simplest explanation is what Deborah says, that it's a sign of a failing brain, or a sign of a healthy brain, I believe is what you said. So maybe my brain is not healthy. But hit me up on socials at Mark Aram. Deja vu, yeah, or nay. U.S., by the way, we've been talking about this for the last couple of days, dropping its tariffs on some Latin American imports. The Trump administration is eliminating tariffs on coffee and bananas from Ecuador, beef from Argentina, and certain textile and apparel from Guatemala and El Salvador. The administration is looking for ways to lower the prices on consumer goods that aren't grown in the U.S. Coffee prices have jumped 19% this year. Bananas are up 7%. And I got to credit Low T Chuck for retweeting someone this morning on Twitter and making me realize that, tariffs can be effective if used surgically. Like, maybe there are certain things that should be tariffed coming into the United States. But the broad blanket tariffs on bananas and coffee and beef, oh my. The fact that they have to walk them back now should be a revelation. Like, all right, maybe broad tariffs aren't the way to go, but maybe surgical tariffs would have been more effective. But as a coffee lover, hooray, very exciting. Maybe coffee prevents deja vu. Increased caffeine levels in my gray matter. All right, 10:17 on the Mark Aram Show. Let's check the ride around town live with the latest. Hello and good morning, Chip Canales. Hey, good morning, Mark. This is not deja vu. You still got to stall big on stall big rig in College Park. I-25 westbound the interlude. Just past Riddick Road exit 60. It's taking out one left lane as you make your way around the domestic terminal. You got the lane starting around I-75 Northport over in Union City. You got a new crash. I-95 northbound before I-25 east. That's exit 68. That's taking out one right lane as you make your way towards College Park. You got the lanes as far back as Flat Shoals Road. This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Your favorite songs that shouldn't have to wait for Wi-Fi switch to Straight Talk and get real unlimited data on Verizon's 5G network. Straight Talk, available at straighttalk.com or Walmart. Check it out, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day for the eyes of Eric Von Hessler. I know. Mike Sure, what else? If it's on your mind, it's on Eric's stupid little radio show. I don't care. Have fun. Eric Von Hessler, today at 3. Your friend, Eric Von Hessler, the common sense host. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
If you're a homeowner in Georgia and you need new windows, this is going to blow your mind. Hey, it's Ray, owner of Window Comfort. I know that sounds crazy, but let me explain. At Window Comfort, I decided to put together the wildest offer we've ever ran. Right now, we're doing buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and in addition to that, I'm going to throw in free installation if you schedule your no-pressure estimate this month. That alone saves you thousands, but here's my promise. If you're not 100% satisfied in the first 12 months, we're going to buy your windows back from you. Yep, you either love your new windows or you get your money back. No risk, no games. These are factory direct windows built right for Georgia and installed by our in-house experts. You have nothing to lose and everything to save. Schedule your no
So this Medicare planning season, we can help you plan well. Learn more at humanaduals.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a dual eligible special needs HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the state Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Whether it's a slip of pencil instead of desk, trip that's holding you back, or shoulder pain where you're getting, you can count on Northside Hospital with Wings. With Lincoln in Georgia, with convenient locations all across the state, you're here to get you back on your feet, no matter what comes your way. Because Georgia needs us. It needs to Georgia moving. Find the provider near you at northside.com/ortho. That's northside.com/ORTHO.
I can see all heating and cooling. We know the holidays bring joy, laughter, and lots of people messing with the thermostat. Uncle Steve visiting from out west wants to heat cranked way up and all the rough houses and little cousins wanted Arctic. Castile keeping your HVAC system running strong all season long with expert installation and same-day emergency service. And right now, get up to $5,000 off a new HVAC system install, plus flexible financing available on installs and major repairs. Book CastileAir.com today.
Many of you know that my inspiration for becoming an accident attorney was my brother Tim, who was rendered a quadriplegic at age 18. I didn't know what a personal injury lawyer was or what they did, but I soon did. Tim was treated terribly by the insurance company, and I became enraged. It was a constant delay and deny. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Tim later worked with me for 27 years. Last year, my hero died at age 65. You can see my eulogy for him by visiting mybrothertim.com. He was one hell of a man. Because of Tim, together we built the largest injury firm in the world, and our clients are treated the way I would want my family to be treated. And Morgan & Morgan, nobody is a nobody, and everybody is a somebody. If you need our help, visit forthepeople.com on your phone or computer. See you soon, Tim. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you. Two homes, same street, same layout, but one had an orchard sign and sold for a whole lot more. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler, and here's why that matters. The first seller went the traditional route. Weeks of showings, price drops, frustration. In the end, they settled for less. The second seller chose Orchard and got ahead. Their agent knew what buyers wanted, made smart upgrades, and marketed the home like a pro. It sold fast and for top dollar. And here's the kicker. With Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, that seller had already moved into their new place before the old one even hit the market. No last-minute cleanings, no strangers walking through during dinner, no stress. You're not stuck. You don't have to wait. You can move now and still sell for more. Start your free home valuation today at orchard.com. That's orchard.com.
81 years ago today, Tommy Dorsey and his orchestra recorded Opus #1 from RCA Victor Records. I bet this was playing in heavy rotation on WSB 81 years ago today. Welcome back to the Mark Air Show. Sad breaking news, I'm afraid, courtesy of Sweet Ann on the digital desk. In the Piccadilly text line, she says, sorry, Mark, no Nobel Prize. She had deja vu yesterday, and I get it occasionally. But maybe Ann was unvaccinated. Or maybe it's just... Did you ask her that? I don't know. I don't want it. It's a HIPAA violation. I can't ask her.
True, that's right.
All right, so no, all right. I'm just getting old. I don't have deja vu anymore. Coming up after the news at 10:30, political analyst Bill Crane's going to join us live, talking all things politics, and that's wood knocking, the return of SNAP benefits here in Georgia. Speaking of benefits, we were talking about yesterday, maybe I won the Nobel Economic Prize yesterday for, what did I come up with a new term? Retirement account poor, where people had a lot of money in their retirement accounts, but they're still living paycheck to paycheck. It's like the IRS was listening to the show yesterday. They are now bumping up the amount you can donate or deposit and contribute into your 401ks, and it's a significant amount now. This is starting 2026. All right, so how much can we, as individuals, input or what is the word used? Contribute to our 401ks?
So the IRS is going to up those contributions to your 401k up to $24,500. So that is about $1,000 increase, and up to $7,500 for IRAs, which is $500 increase. So it's a good amount of money. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but $1,000 to save. That's
an extra $1,000. It's so, I don't know if there's like a tablet or a chart that they can track down. I remember when I first started contributing to my 401k, thank you, Clark Howard, I think the yearly limit was like $14,000. And I laughed when I saw that. Like, I don't make $14,000 a year. I'm not going to be able to, but I don't know. If you can find out, give me a chart or a graph. I like pictures of how much the increase into 401k contributions has gone up in the last 30 years. Up to $24,500. And hopefully you're with an organization that matches some of your contribution. All right, so it's $7,500 for IRAs. Clark Howard did a little Clark Howard minute today in the Lens where he was talking about that. If you are, middle class, lower middle class, you make a certain amount. He says, change your 401k and make it an IRA or something.
My dad did that, and he made out like a thief.
Yeah, go to Clark.com for more on that. Clark, invaluable resource. All right, here's weather traffic at 3. When we come back, political analyst Bill Crane. Social media is up and active at Mark Cameron at WSB Radio. Quality professional tree work. Choose Heath Tree Service. Hi, I'm Jimmy Heath. My father started Heath Tree Service over 60 years ago, and we're still family-owned, certified arborists and experts with trees. Find us at heathtreeservice.com. If you need a furnace, think of Reliable with unbeatable lifetime warranty and only $59.99 a month. It's getting cold out there. Don't be a turkey this Thanksgiving. It's Mark Garrett here. Reliable Heating here wants to keep you warm and feed you too with free Turkey Tuesday. Every Tuesday leading up to Thanksgiving, listen to my show for your chance to win a free Thanksgiving turkey courtesy of Reliable Heating and Air. The Daily Land Trust when it's time to turn on the heat. Stay cozy, save energy, and keep your oven and your furnace cooking this holiday season. Visit ReliableAir.com and schedule your furnace check today. Kids at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta ask questions they should never have to. By giving today, you can help us answer them. With your support, our kids get the care and treatment they need. And for their birthday, they'll never forget. Give to Children's for that. Donate today at choa.org/give. Rates are continuing to get better. Lots of folks are taking advantage of them by calling MyLend. This is Scott Slade. Access the equity in your home with the home equity line of credit or cash out refinance. Then use the equity in your home to pay off high interest debts, student loans, basement or kitchen remodels, or anything else you need. These guys and gals are the best I've seen, and that's why I've been recommending them for over a decade. Local experts you can trust. Why would you call anyone else? Every month, MyLend closes a loan that other lenders just can't do. Also, MyLend wanted me to let you know they're still growing, currently hiring for their incredible sales team. If you or someone you know might be interested in joining one of the latest premier mortgage lenders, give them a call. 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Online, it's mylend.com. Spelled M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS of Georgia Residential Mortgage Licensing 148769. Located at 8995 Westside Parkway, Northwest Georgia 30009. MyLend is an equal housing lender. Your view is the one house on the street that looks amazing. Well, this year it is mine. I'm Cristiano Wise. As Pro Wash keeps my home clean. Now they make it shine this holiday season. They install lights along our roof lights so clean. Even in daylight, you barely notice them. So I'm ready to plug them in. The whole house lights up then. Wise Guys Lights handles everything. Install, maintenance, and takedown. And right now, first-time customers who mention me, Cristiano, save $150 when installing. Start to feeling fast. No way. But now, WiseGuysLights.com. Live from the Superior Public Studios. News, weather, traffic. 95.5 WSB. Atlanta's News and Talk. This is the morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid.
sunny, staying warmer, highs around 73 this afternoon. Says WSB Christina Edwards. She'll run up on us most accurate. And the forecast coming up in just a few minutes. A 32-year-old Gainesville man is going to prison for 25 years for sex charges against a child in Cherokee County. Michael Dennis Shoemaker met a 14-year-old on the social media platform Tumblr. After communicating with that child online, Shoemaker traveled to Cherokee County, took that child to Woodstock Microtel Inn, sexually assaulted her. He pled guilty to aggravated child molestation, enticing a child for using purposes, statutory rape, and 2 counts of sexual exploitation of children. Emory has bought the Eggleston Hospital site of Cliftonville, which was home to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta for years. That's now one of those juveniles room. The university said that they plan to demolish the 2 buildings on the site. They're going to keep the 840 space underground parking garage. Demolition expected to take up to a year and a half. Officials have not yet said what they plan to do with the space in the long term. Now that the government shutdown is over, the longest in history is officially over. A bill signed by President Trump, lawmakers have until the end of January to come up with a more permanent budget solution. The shutdown was over the health care issue, which Democrats still did not get what they wanted in the end. Georgia Republican Congressman Martin Taylor Greene saying, on this issue, I don't see political party lines. I see simply that the American people have been done wrong. So she's calling on her Republican Party to work with Democrats to come up with a solution. The government shutdown did no favors for the job market as we hear now from Jim Ryan.
Payroll processor ADP says that for the 4 weeks ending October 25th, private employers shed an average 11,000 jobs per week. Not only is the pace of hiring slowing, it's cutting across industries and geographic locations. The ADP survey finds that nearly 2/3 of U.S. workers are living paycheck to paycheck.
And for Georgians who get SNAP benefits, the Georgia Department of Human Services is saying that those who received only partial SNAP benefits in November will be getting the rest of the next week. The department issued a 65% partial payment on Tuesday. The rest of the payments, they say, are set to go out next Tuesday. And remember this song? Retirement from the world of rock and roll. He's 74 years old. He released a YouTube video saying thank you to everybody who assisted him during his quote incredible journey.
It was very evident to me that it's time ready for me to hang up my rock platform shoes and my skin tight jeans.
He started his career back in 1966 as the singer for Vintage 67 that was launched to superstardom as the lead singer of Whitesnake, which was formed back in 1978. Let's take a look at the markets. They are right now. It is down
Christmas, kids. Santa would be proud, and Elvis is proud too. If it's time to replace your roof, please think of Finley First with over 65,000 roofs replaced locally. They've mastered the process with impeccable, high-quality work. Tis the season to give yourself the gift of a new roof while helping you on Merry Christmas to local foster children. Get started right now. Schedule your free roof analysis at valleyroofing.com.
All the information
suggested a $10,000 bonus for every air traffic controller who made all of their shifts as appointed as well as the overtime. They're trying to figure out if and how that can be done.
One of the few concessions that